applause for Dr. Taniguchi, and we then move on to the next session.
Thank you very much, Megha, for that. Absolutely. And now, without further ado, we are, of course, going to swiftly move forward to our next session today. But before that, we have to thank those without whom today's and tomorrow's event would not have been possible. Yes, those partners who, of course, have collaborated with us to organize this global gathering that you're seeing here today in New Delhi, in India. This event today is powered by Adani, State Partner, Government of Haryana, State Partner, Government of Rajasthan, State Partner, Government of Madhya Pradesh, State Partner, Government of Chhattisgarh, State Partner, Government of Uttarakhand, Session Partner, the NTPC, National Thermal Power Corporation of India, Session Partner, Power Grid, Session Partner, Mahashiyan the Hatti Private Limited, MDH, Session Partner, Paytm, Session Partner, and Reality Partner, ACE Infrastructure, Reality Partner, NBCC, National Buildings Construction Corporation Limited, Reality Partner, Housing and Urban Development Corporation of India, that is HUDCO, Session Partner and Reality Partner, M3M, Reality Partner, Bhutani Group, Reality Partner, Signature Global, Reality Partner, Green Circle, Reality Partner, Swastik Greens, Tourism Partner, Tourism Finance Corporation of India Limited, TFCIL. Also, Exchange Partner, National Stock Exchange of India, the NSE. Institutional Partner for NXT, Indian Space Association, ISPA. Institution Partner for NXT, American Jewish Committee, AJC. Institution Partner, Sunday Guardian Foundation. Institutional Partner, NewsX. And Hospitality Partner, Hyatt Gurgaon. A warm round of applause, please, for our partners. And now we move on to our first big presentation of the day today. Yes, in this special session called Next in Mobility, we're very proud to have with us, of course, someone who needs no introduction. Yes, a very well-known name, and of course, the co-founder and CEO of Transport, Sebastien Gendron. Sebastien Gendron is redefining transportation to connect people, cities, and businesses with ultra-high-speed transportation that is both affordable and environmentally sustainable. In fact, under his leadership, Transport has become the first vacuum tube transportation company to confirm finance for a multi-billion-dollar infrastructure project. He's also an active speaker in the technology and transportation communities and seeks every opportunity available, like the one today, to engage, educate, and inspire the next generation to innovate and think outside the box. And I can see a lot of youngsters in the audience here today, so get ready to engage with Sebastien Gendron, the founder and CEO of Transport. Could we please have you on stage, sir? The floor is yours. Thank you for being with us.
Good morning, and thanks again for the invitation. I'm pleased to be here and share about the future of mobility and what's coming next in terms of transportation. There is a pretty good ecosystem in India already, and we'll go into the details and what Transport has been doing so far and what we could do in India. So, just to kick off our session, I would like to pinpoint the fact that if you want to develop a new mode of transportation, it has to be better than existing ones. Otherwise, it's kind of pointless to develop something new, so it has to be better than cars, trains, aircraft, and of course, boats. Otherwise, it's literally useless. So our vision is really to create the next generation of high-speed transportation. For those who are familiar with the current state of the art, high-speed train have been around for 50 years, I would say now. And at Transport, we truly believe that the next generation of high-speed transportation belongs to what we call tube transportation or you may have heard about Hyperloop. We'll have 15 minutes to go through that, and we'll try to keep 5 minutes for Q&A. So I really encourage the audience, especially at the back. I see lots of young people which may be interested to ask questions about that. So a few words about Transpod. So Transpod is a Canadian company. We're based in Toronto. And we started the company in 2015, so it's already kind of 10 years old. And we have activities as well in Europe, in France. And we have also an office in the UAE. And I hope that maybe by the end of this year, we'll have something in India. We talk about taking actions. So that's really the plan here. It's to be able to take actions and to see what we can develop here. Just a few words about the journey. I used to work for a big manufacturing aircraft company like Airbus and Bombardier, and personally I'm not a good employee, so it was better for me to start my own company. And so after kind of 10 years, we kind of kick off the ground, started to develop some initial technology, our own IP, and move forward with several infrastructure projects, and we'll go into the details. So first of all, what are we talking about? You've heard about Hyperloop and tube transportation for quite some time now, but we're talking about tube transportation. So it's literally, so it's a concept again, which have been around for more than 100 years, and it consists in a really basic way to remove 99% of the air in a tube where you allow the vehicle to achieve the same speed as an aircraft because you avoid aerodynamic friction. So today trains are limited to 300 kilometers per hour. With that kind of idea to remove most of the air, you can achieve 1,000 kilometers per hour. Now, be careful, we're not designing a magnetic gun, okay? We're not shooting people in a tube. We're talking about decent acceleration and deceleration. So it will take a few kilometers to reach top speed and then several kilometers to decelerate so it can accommodate every, I would say, passengers. The vehicle we've been developing today at Transpod is called the Flux Jet. So it's the size of a train coach or a bus, so it's 25 meters long. But as you can imagine, in that tube, okay, so there's no air, so it looks more like an aircraft without wings. So it's really made of composite material to build that vehicle with magnetic propulsion and levitation system. The trick here is also in the power transmission. So it's kind of similar to, I would say, a subway with a power rail touching and transmitting energy into the vehicle, but we're using electrical arcs, and this is one of our key IP and key, I would say, competitive advantage over China. We just talked about China, who's kind of the country leading this development nowadays. The infrastructure itself, it's quite similar to what we already have. So the infrastructure is similar to the one we have for the subway here in Delhi. So we're talking about elevated structure. It can be, of course, underground if you need to go across, I would say, the Rockies, I would say, in Canada, or the Himalaya here in near India. But for most of the infrastructure, it will be elevated with a section, I would say, atmospheric section at low speed. Then it enter into what we call an airlock, and then move on into high-speed zone where you achieve higher speed and save on time travel. Here, a more closer look at the infrastructure with stations similar to railway stations. Again, the low-speed zone, elevated guideway, then the airlock, and moving on to the high-speed zone. Our progress to date, back in 2022, we revealed in Toronto a first demonstrator, a scaled-down version of the vehicle to demonstrate the key aspect of our technology. So again, the levitation, the propulsion and the power transmission. We just started last year construction of a test facility in France, which is moving forward and part of our development plan, which is kind of over the next 3 to 5 years to reach commercialization. And then preliminary work in Alberta. This is our first, I would say, infrastructure project. We signed in 2020 a memorandum of understanding with the Alberta government to develop our first, I would say, line between Calgary and Edmonton. And for those who follow a bit I'm glad that we have a former Prime Minister of Canada here in the audience. The Alberta government just announced last year a transportation plan to define their mobility plan up to 2060. And they have a report currently ongoing, which is due for this summer, with a decision they're committed to take this fall. So starting this fall, transport may be selected to be the project connected Edmonton to Calgary, which means for us that we could start construction as soon as 2026. To do that, we already secured $500 million of funding to build the test track to connect the Edmonton airport to the city of Edmonton. That was back in 2022. And we're ready to move forward with Canadian pension funds to actually finance that. The key advantage, going back to what I said at the beginning, said that a transportation system must be better than existing ones. When you look at high-speed corridors worldwide, whether it's in Europe or in Japan, they are heavily subsidized, okay? Only the main lines are profitable, and the others, you need heavy taxpayers' money to make it work. So we wanted to avoid that when we started transport, and one way to make a better business case is actually to mix with freight. So our line can transport both time-sensitive freight and passengers, which makes the business case much better, and then you can attract private funding to build those infrastructure. So my point here is that what's next in terms of mobility is like more than the speed, the convenience, and all the benefits associated to that system. You can also finance that system with the private sector in a way better way than it is done today for high-speed train corridor. So where are we? Not only in Alberta, we started to work as well in Texas. Texas is showing interest to build a line to connect Dallas to the Mexican border. Dallas, Austin, San Antonio, and Laredo. We also have some good conversation in the UAE. For those who follow, again, this ecosystem, the UAE just decided to build a high-speed train to connect Abu Dhabi and Dubai. However, there's still some need to build a freight line between those two cities to connect the two airports and being more efficient in terms of moving goods. And of course, there's Saudi Arabia. We also have a former, and we have, I would say, a former Prime Minister of Australia in the room. And Australia is also showing lots of interest. We started to work with the airport of Melbourne, who is looking to connect their airport, and then maybe down the road connect Melbourne to Sydney. And again, it's to bring private sector funding to that. As a conclusion, and to refer to what's been said before, it's really important as a country who wants to lead to walk the talk. Today, China is leading the pack. They're already invested, and they know that if you want to be a leading country, you need to be able to take a bit of risk and develop new technologies in order to be leader in that new field in the next few years. Anyway, I think we still have a bit of time for Q&A. I don't know if there is a microphone going around, but happy to answer any questions you might have on the technology and everything else.
Hello. I got a question that how your system is different from Hyperloop, which has been propagated by Elon Musk. and they already have some proof in various cities in USA and all over the world.
It's working. That's the main difference. So so we always said that the devil is in the details, and this is where you need to really look carefully at what even what Elon Musk proposed 10 years ago, or value system. I'll compare, to make it simple, I'll compare what China is doing and what we're doing. In theory, okay, for our system, you can use existing technologies such as maglev developed in Japan, okay, and install it in a tube, remove most of the air, and achieve the speeds you want to you can achieve by avoiding aerodynamic friction. The challenge with maglev is cost. It's 5 times more expensive than an high-speed rail corridor. And so in order to address that, and it's expensive because the tech is split between the infrastructure and the vehicle. The key aspect on our side is that we were able to consolidate all the technology on the vehicle to keep the infrastructure as basic as possible. And the main change also is on the levitation system. We're not pushing from the bottom, we're pulling from the top. So we're using electromagnets, and those electromagnets are interacting with the steel tube to pull the vehicle to the top rather than pushing from the bottom. And thanks to that, you don't need to have, I would say, magnets on the infrastructure, and then you're saving costs. I'm trying to kind of simplify that, but that's basically our approach so far. Any other questions? I see some hands over there. Yeah. Oh, yeah. We got 10 seconds left.
Good morning, Mr. Sebastien.
Yeah.
Here.
Where are you? Left? Right? Okay, over there. Yeah.
Right. I have a question. Like, when environmental conservation has become a global concern and therefore a global mission, how does transport meet this expectation?
Yeah, it's a really good question. So first of all, it's a fully electric system, okay? And so the objective of what we're developing is to replace, to some extent, or to complement, I would say, short-haul flights. If we're looking at city pairs like Edmonton-Calgary or Toronto-Montreal, or let's say New Delhi-Mumbai, it would be to remove or replace some of the aircrafts between those two cities, and then reducing the carbon footprint. There's also a key aspect. It's to minimize the carbon footprint during construction. As you know, as you build infrastructure, it creates lots of CO2. And that's also something we're looking at to work with companies reducing, I would say, CO2 as well in the concrete,